Look, I've got a confession to make. I was not always a perfect student at A level. I didn't know what I was getting myself in for. My attendance was terrible. Sometimes I was just outright annoying in the class. These are the things that I wish somebody had told me before I did my A levels. I wasn't a perfect student, and you don't need to be a perfect student. These are some of the mistakes that I made and the things that I wish I'd have known. I want to share my knowledge and wisdom with you so that you don't find yourself in the same position that I did. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and thank you for tuning in for today's video. Today I want to give you my top tips and tricks for your A levels coming from a girl who got all A stars. Before anything, if you do find this video helpful, be sure to check out my channel for the rest of my A level advice videos. It would mean a lot if you could like and subscribe so that I'm able to continue making videos that help you like this. First tip is have an organization system that actually works for you and that is sustainable. I started off saying, oh, I'm going to have color-coded notes, I'm going to have a folder for every subject in my bag every day, and it just didn't work. Come up with something sustainable and figure out what works for you. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you are consistent with it and you know where everything is. Your notes, your mocks, your past papers, your flashcards. As long as it's organized, it doesn't matter. Next tip is something that I did particularly well, is to keep on top of your work, and anything that you don't understand, you need to make sure that you go and understand it, whether it be asking your teacher or going on YouTube and finding a video that explains that topic or concept, and just making sure you've thoroughly grasped the content of each lesson and make it a habit. Don't just say, oh, I'll do it later, because that work will pile up. And the thing with A levels is that things aren't taught in isolation. Things build on each other, particularly in subjects like maths, like economics, in every A level. One thing that I particularly struggled with at the start of my A levels was asking for help. I was worried that my teachers would think I was stupid or that I hadn't grasped something fully, and that's quite simply not the case. You need to let go of your ego. You are going to grow immensely as a person over the next 2 years, and you need all of the help that you can get in school. It's not embarrassing to not understand something at A level first time round. It's very, very difficult stuff. Fun fact, I could not get my head around logarithms in A level maths for ages for some reason, and I struggled with that more than anything else on the specification. I don't know why. I was doing second year integration fine. For logarithms, it took me ages to understand, and I had to put a lot of work in, and I shed a lot of tears, and I was really embarrassed because everybody else seemed to get it and I just couldn't get it. The point is, I just had to get over it, and I went and asked my teacher many, many times to explain it. I watched so many YouTube videos. Finally, I got my head around it. Next up, get into the habit of revising from the very start. I'm not saying have a revision timetable, but naturally you will fall into a pattern of revision if you apply yourself. That is because during the course of your A levels, you are constantly being assessed, whether it be an end of topic test, or whether it be homework, or you're set an exam question every week. Make sure you work hard for them. Those end of topic tests, actually revise for them. Learn what study methods work for you for each subject and how you retain information best. Also develop some sort of non-negotiables for yourself. So for me, particularly in year 13, I told myself that for each of my subjects, I was going to do a practice paper every single week for every subject. And naturally, there are things that you haven't covered yet, so I just cross out those questions or just say, okay, this is on a topic that I haven't done. But I would make sure that I was doing some sort of extra work for each subject every single week, and I think that's a great habit to get into. So on top of your homework, doing that revision. Even if it's just making revision resources like flashcards or cheat sheets or mind maps, doing something extra and getting into the habit of it is so valuable. Next up, let's say you are set a worksheet in the class. So they say, okay, go and do these differentiation problems, questions 1 to 5. You need to make a habit of going home and working on those things. Don't just think, okay, I did 2 of the 5 questions in the class, I kind of get it, cool. Make it a habit to finish any work that you were given, even if it's not required of you, just for your own personal development. Also remember that towards the end of any worked exercises or any questions your teachers set you, the hardest questions are usually at the end. This is probably one of the most important tips that I have. From the very start of your A levels, you need to understand how you are being assessed. So this isn't just, oh, what's on each paper? This is how do you answer the questions in the exam paper in the way in which the examiner wants to see you answer them. Marking is very stringent at A level. They want to see something very, very particular. You could be the best economist in the world, and if you didn't know how to answer an A level economics exam question, you would still not get an A star. That's just because they are so particular about you meeting all of those assessment objectives and hitting all of the criteria. So from the beginning, when you learn a topic or a concept and you're doing practice paper questions, get your head around, okay, there are 2 knowledge marks here, there's an application mark. Or in maths, get used to setting out your work in a particular way. It's an essay subject like history. Make sure you understand how to structure an essay and, importantly, how to do it in time conditions. Next tip is really try for your mock exams, particularly in year 12, because at the end of the day, your UCAS predicted grades usually go off this. Of course, your teachers have some sort of flexibility. If you get an A in the mock, but they think you're capable of getting an A star, they will predict you an A star. That relies on the fact that you have a good relationship with your teachers. And that leads me on to my next point. Just be nice. Just be nice to people in your class. Be nice to teachers. For 2 reasons. Firstly, the teacher side of things. Again, they are writing your reference for university and they are giving you your predicted grades. So you need to demonstrate to them that you are a capable individual, you are passionate, you are dedicated, and you are a good student. And then be nice to other people in the classroom, just one out of common human decency. But secondly, it keeps you out of any sort of drama, which you definitely don't need alongside A levels. A levels are very stressful, and if you do not actively take the time out for yourself, it can be really easy to get bogged down in your academics and never really take a proper break because you're always stressing about something. You will never be free when you're doing your A levels, as in there will always be something to do. There will be something to revise, there will be some sort of homework to do, there will be some sort of application or work experience. You need to actively take time out of your day to do nothing or to relax or to dedicate to going to the gym or playing sport or practicing an instrument. Finally, I want to recommend that you look for any sort of work experience or summer schools early. So summer school applications tend to open in November and they close in January for the summer. So if you want to do one, you need to get on it fast, like from the start of year 12. Similarly, work experiences often take place in the Easter of year 12. You need to apply early. You need to be on it, signed up to newsletters with your careers department. The thing is with A level is that nobody's going to do it for you. Whether it be work experience or just revision, you are accountable and you have this responsibility now. You are growing into an adult. It's very important and it really does help you grow as a person and sets you up for the next chapter of your life. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe and tune in for more daily study tips. Bye!